There's a lot of manga for the world to read. Because of this, I obviously can't read every single one all the way through. Some don't even have English translations. But for those that do, I want to expand upon what I've already gone through, which is a bit. So I decided today to read the first volume of a few manga that interested me. Everything I say here is opinion based, and therefore may differ from your opinions. I'm ranking these series purely off the first volume and nothing more. I usually read the first two, but in order to get this video out on time, I limited it to one. In addition, I'll be following two rules. One is that if I've read the series before, there has to be a substantial gap between when I last read it and now, and two, that I can't read a series I've read more than 5 volumes of already. With that out of the way, let's get into the first manga I read for this video. The first manga I read was My Dear Friend Nokotan by Yoshi Yoshio and published by Seven Seas. It follows two high school girls, Tarako Koshi and Shika Noko, who go by the nicknames Koshitan and Nokotan. There's a fair mix of absurd and vulgar humor, and even a doge meme at the end. I did watch the anime as it released, but it's been 2 years. Based on just the first volume, I think it was a fun read. Its biggest pro is that it's really funny, but if you don't immediately click with that type of humor, it's probably not for you. There's also not much connecting the chapters, and they're all really independent from each other, save for the first, 5th, and 7th chapters. Overall, a 7 out of 10 from me. The second manga I read was Demons of the Shadow Realm by Hiromu Arakawa and published by Square Enix Manga. The name of the mangaka might seem familiar if you've ever read Full Metal Alchemist, as they're both done by the same person. I picked this one up blind at a grocery store of all places, and boy was I impressed. I don't want to go too much into detail on the story, but the plot twist had me sold immediately. I've yet to see another manga blindside me with a plot twist in the same way this one did. Pros are that the story is very engaging from the start and that you never know what's going to happen next. The biggest con, though, is that Iru, the main character, just accepts the plot twist with very little hesitance. The only time he seems at all confused is right when it's happening. That aside, I give Demons of the Shadow Realm a 9 out of 10. A while back, I picked up this sports manga at a thrift store. You know, the one where the first word in the title is blue? That's right, it's Blue Box. There's no other sports manga that starts with blue. You're delusional. It's by Kojo Miura and published by Viz. The thing is, it's both sports and romance, which are my two least favorite genres. But that's exactly why I chose to read it for this video, so I could go into those genres with an open mind and see if maybe I'd enjoy them for a change. And I did! It's about a boy named Taiki Inomata and his crush, Chinatsu Kano. After getting unexpectedly closer with Chinatsu, Taiki still doesn't ask her out yet, but when talking to his friend, Kyo Kasahara, he says, "That takes a lot of determination, so I can't just look at that and ask for something as selfish as, 'Will you be in a relationship with me?'" Despite being some of my least favorite genres of manga, I did find Taiki quite endearing as the main character. I think I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's alright, but not great. Granted, it's not my cup of tea, so maybe some of you sports manga and romance manga enjoyers will like it more than I did. The next manga is actually the reason I decided to make this video in the first place. That being Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid by Kyokyo Shinja and published by Seven Seas. I've heard of it before, and it was even one of the very first anime I saw clips of a few years back. Granted, that was a while ago, and I've actually come to revisit the other anime I saw clips of back on YouTube. But now that I'm more indulged with the space, I figured that I'd actually give Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid a shot. The first thing that immediately jumped out to me was that it was rated all ages by Seven Seas. So far, everything I've read has been either teen or older teen by their publishers. Moving on, we're not given much of an exposition. We just kind of have to accept the fact that Toru, the main character, is both a dragon and Miss Kobayashi's maid, though the logic is explained later. There's quite a large cast from the first volume, and most of them get spin-offs, which is nice. After sitting through the first volume, I think that all ages is a bit generous, but on the Seven Seas website it says older teen, so it seems like they agreed. I think that Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is a good comedy, but was also a bit risque in nature, and it didn't really add to the plot. Regardless, I think it's still a solid 9 out of 10 for its characters and comedy. Well, I was hoping to make this video longer, but I can't due to constraints on time. There were a few others I was planning on reading for this video that I never got to, namely Konosuba, Servamp, and the Shugo Chara Jewel Joker manga spinoff. I might make a part 2 when I get to these, and perhaps even more. If you have any other suggestions for me, leave them in the comments and I might check them out. Not everything can be put in a video, even if the series is good. I've already read a handful of manga, I might have a bias, and some just simply don't interest me. I want to avoid things like those, so that all of my ratings are fresh and fair. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I also encourage you to read the manga I mentioned in this video. Again, almost everything I said was opinion-based. You might enjoy some of these more or less than I did. Also, every manga I read has an anime adaptation for you guys to check out too. Oh yeah, see ya!